What if the earliest signs of dementia aren't what you think? What if they appear long before memory loss? As a doctor with years of experience treating cognitive disorders, I've seen too many patients come into late not because they didn't care, but because they didn't know the signs. Dementia doesn't begin with forgetting names. It starts in the shadows, subtle, silent, and often misunderstood. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 10 early signs of dementia you should never ignore, because recognizing them early can truly change everything. Let me tell you about my patient. Grace, a 68-year-old retired schoolteacher, sharp, witty, and full of life. But one day, she started calling her coffee the brown thing, struggled with her utensils at dinner, and couldn't find her way back from the grocery store. Everyone chalked it up to age. But as a physician, I knew this was more than that. And that's where this story begins. 1. Postural changes and gait issues. Most people overlook subtle changes in the way they walk or move, assuming it's just aging. But shifts in posture and gait can be one of the first clues the brain is struggling. You might notice someone taking shorter steps, dragging their feet, or swaying slightly as they walk. Even something as minor as leaning to one side or appearing unbalanced could signal a decline in motor control caused by early cognitive changes. The brain's role in balance and coordination is significant, and as dementia sets in, these functions become less reliable. Tasks that once felt automatic, like walking through a familiar hallway or using utensils, begin to feel more difficult. These signs often progress gradually, leading to increased falls and mobility issues if ignored. Recognizing these physical changes early can be a vital step in catching dementia before it advances. And these shifts in movement often go hand in hand with something else: sensory disturbances. 2. Sensory distortions. Dementia doesn't just impact memory, it alters how the brain processes the world around us. One of the earliest red flags is a change in sensory perception. You might notice someone misjudging distances, spilling drinks while pouring, or struggling with steps and curbs. These aren't just clumsy moments, they reflect a breakdown in depth perception and spatial awareness. Some individuals also report losing their sense of smell or taste, which has been strongly linked to early-stage Alzheimer's. Others may find loud sounds unbearable or have trouble following conversations in noisy places. Untreated hearing loss, in particular, forces the brain to work overtime, potentially speeding up cognitive decline. These subtle shifts in how someone sees, hears, or navigates their environment can be easy to dismiss, but carry significant meaning. When the senses start to falter, the brain is often signaling distress, and that distress often shows up next in a surprising part of the body: our muscles. 3. Muscle weakness. When we think of dementia, muscle strength isn't usually the first thing that comes to mind. But research tells a different story. A noticeable decline in grip strength or difficulty with everyday tasks like opening jars, carrying groceries, or holding small objects can be an early indicator of cognitive decline. It's not just about physical aging, it's about how well the brain communicates with the body. As dementia progresses, those neural pathways weaken and the muscles respond with reduced strength and coordination. Frailty in the arms or legs often leads to decreased activity levels, which further accelerates cognitive deterioration. Less movement means less stimulation for the brain, creating a vicious cycle. That's why maintaining muscle health through strength training or even simple resistance exercises can play a crucial role in preserving mental sharpness. And while the body shows these early signs, another powerful indicator of brain trouble often emerges quietly during sleep. 4. Sleep disturbances. Sleep is when the brain repairs and resets. But in the early stages of dementia, that process begins to break down. You may notice someone struggling with insomnia, waking up frequently during the night, or feeling overwhelmingly tired during the day. What's often dismissed as normal aging could actually be a red flag. Restless movements like kicking, punching, or talking during sleep may point to REM sleep behavior disorder, which has been linked to dementia with Lewy bodies. Vivid nightmares or intense dreams can also be subtle warnings of cognitive disruption. These disturbances do more than disrupt rest, they interfere with the brain's ability to clear out toxins linked to memory loss. Poor quality sleep not only worsens cognitive symptoms, but may also contribute to faster decline. So, if someone's nights are restless and their days are drowsy, it's time to take a closer look. And next, we explore what happens when the mind begins to shut out the world emotionally. 5. Apathy and withdrawal. When someone begins to pull away from life, not out of sadness, but out of disinterest, it could be more than a mood shift. Apathy is one of the earliest emotional symptoms of dementia. You might notice a loved one losing interest in hobbies, skipping social events, or avoiding conversations they once enjoyed. It's not always depression. Unlike sadness, apathy in dementia feels emotionally flat. There's no motivation, no spark, just a quiet detachment. The brain's emotional control center begins to dim, and that affects everything from engagement in daily routines to responses in joyful or even heartbreaking moments. They may not seem upset, but that emotional absence speaks volumes. Over time, this disconnection can erode relationships and independence. Recognizing apathy as a warning sign allows families to intervene early. And while someone may seem emotionally silent, another sign may soon emerge, this time affecting the way they speak and understand language. 6. Struggling to find words. Aphasia. It often starts with hesitation, a pause mid-sentence, a common word that suddenly slips away. This subtle struggle with language, known as aphasia, can be one of the first cognitive warning signs of dementia. It's more than just forgetting a name now and then. People may substitute the wrong word entirely, calling a jacket a shirt or saying thing instead of the object's name. Conversations become frustrating as they pause frequently, search for words, or repeat the same phrase without realizing it. In more advanced stages, they may even forget familiar names, including those closest to them. Language is deeply tied to memory, and when that connection frays, communication becomes a daily challenge. These symptoms often appear years before a diagnosis is made. Catching them early can open doors to meaningful interventions. But when multiple signs begin to overlap, it becomes even more critical to act, especially when memory loss starts affecting daily life. 7. Memory loss. Memory loss is often the most recognized symptom of dementia, but it's not just about forgetting names or misplacing keys. The real concern is when memory issues start disrupting everyday life. A person might forget recent conversations, miss appointments, or ask the same questions repeatedly. They may place important items like medications or wallets in strange places, and have no idea how to retrace their steps. At first, long-term memories may seem untouched, but over time, even cherished moments, significant events, and familiar faces begin to fade. This isn't simple forgetfulness, it's a gradual erosion of the mind's timeline. The ability to store and retrieve new information breaks down, leaving a person lost in the present and disconnected from the past. When memory loss reaches this level, it's often accompanied by another major concern: confusion about where they are, what time it is, or even what day it might be. 8. Confusion with time and place. One of the most disorienting signs of dementia is losing track of time or getting confused in familiar places. It's not just forgetting what day it is, it's waking up unsure of the season, the year, or why you're even in a certain room. A person may wander through their own home and suddenly feel lost, or head to the grocery store and forget how to get back. They might believe they're living in a different decade, mixing past memories with the present. This kind of confusion can lead to wandering, panic, and even dangerous situations. It's more than memory, it's the brain struggling to anchor itself in time and space. As these episodes become more frequent, they strip away confidence and independence. And often, when time and place no longer feel stable, the person begins repeating questions again and again, not out of impatience, but because they genuinely can't hold on to the answers. 9. Poor judgment. When sound decisions become risky choices, the brain may be signaling trouble. Poor judgment is a lesser known but critical early symptom of dementia. It often shows up in unexpected ways: falling for scams, giving away large sums of money, or dressing inappropriately for the weather. A person might wear winter clothes in summer or head to the store in pajamas, unaware of social norms. Even simple tasks like following a recipe or paying bills become confusing and overwhelming. This decline in reasoning happens because dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for evaluating risks and making logical decisions. In later stages, individuals may leave stoves on, wander into unsafe areas, or trust the wrong people. These aren't isolated mistakes, they're part of a pattern. When decision-making starts to falter, safety and independence are at risk. And often, poor judgment is followed by another distressing behavior, asking the same question over and over again. 10. Hallucinations and delusions. Seeing or hearing things that aren't there can be terrifying for both the individual and their loved ones. Hallucinations and delusions often appear in the later stages of dementia, particularly in conditions like Lewy body dementia or advanced Alzheimer's. A person might insist they've seen someone in the room, hear voices that no one else hears, or believe a caregiver is stealing from them. These aren't mere dreams or confusion, they feel real to the person experiencing them. Hallucinations engage the senses, while delusions affect belief systems, often leading to paranoia or aggressive behavior. The cause? A brain struggling to distinguish reality from distortion. These symptoms can lead to fear, isolation, and even danger if left unaddressed. While frightening, they're a clear signal that cognitive decline has reached a deeper level. Recognizing these signs early allows for proper medical evaluation and opens the door to treatments that can offer comfort and stability. What ties all these symptoms together? They don't scream, they whisper, and if we don't listen, we miss our chance to intervene early. Imagine the brain as a circuit board. When one wire flickers, the lights don't go out immediately, but something feels off. That's your window. That's your moment. So here's the truth. Dementia is not just an old person's disease. It doesn't strike overnight, it builds slowly, silently, over years. But by catching these early signs, we can take steps to protect the brain, preserve independence, and give ourselves and our loved ones the gift of time. Let me ask you, have you noticed any of these signs in someone close to you? Or maybe even in yourself? If this video helped open your eyes, help us open more. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more insights that could one day change or even save a life. Your support allows us to keep sharing powerful stories and essential health wisdom.